Hello, everybody. Welcome to Leon's Corner. How's everybody doing today? I am Leon, your host with the most. Today's Saturday. So, how are you guys doing today? Give me a second here, guys. Um, Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos al Rincón de León. Les habla León. ¿Cómo se encuentran el día de hoy? Yo estoy bien. Hoy vamos a hablar de la cronología de Final Fantasy VII. Y hoy estaremos hablando de la tercera parte que es, bueno, voy a combinar la novela y la película. I just gotta say before we start that I decided not to get into the audio novels because when there's many chapters, I haven't read them. And the other thing is because they are the within Final Fantasy 7. So yeah, things that they that happen throughout the game that were that went unnoticed. So, damas y caballeros, esto, como estaba diciendo, hoy vamos a hablar de la tercera parte de la cronología de Final Fantasy 7 y hablaremos de la novela y la película. Pero antes de que continuemos, esto no voy a hablar de las novelas en audio y el motivo es por el que una no las he oído. La otra es que, eh, toman parte en la historia de Final Fantasy VII en sí. Tampoco voy a hablar de el anime llamado, La Última Orden, porque otra vez es parte de Final Fantasy VII en diferente perspectiva. So, yeah, I won't talk about the anime The Last Order because, it's within, Final Fantasy VII from a different perspective. Now, saying that, I wanna welcome you guys again. If you have your favorite snacks and drinks, this would be the perfect time to take them out, sit down, relax, and enjoy the show because we start right now. Damas y caballeros, ya diciendo esto, am, otra vez sean bienvenidos y si tienen sus botanas y bebidas favoritas, ahorita sería el tiempo perfecto para sacarlas, sentarse, relajarse y disfrutar del show porque empieza ahora. Okay, Final Fantasy, um, 7 Advent Children. So it's kind of funny, and you guys, I know a lot of people don't like prequels. I, I'm picky when it comes to that. The novel, it's a prequel to the movie, which is kind of weird. Actually, the novel takes place right after the game. At this point, everybody has split up and took their separate ways. Barrett left and he walked around the world looking of ways to redeem himself from um, all that burden he carried from that fight. And he does run into Sid Highwind, who was of his one of the people that joined the fight against Sephiroth. And they do talk about the old times. However, um, if I remember correctly, Barrett asked about Shira, and he mentioned that she got sick with the stigma and died. No wonder why he called one of his ships the Shira. But anyway, uh, but anyway, So they're talking together, reliving the old days. Uh, you know, it is interesting though. So, yeah, como he dicho, am, voy a estar hablando de la novela y la película para esta sesión. Lo chistoso es que la novela es la el principio, o sea, hay personas que no les gustan las, les pesan precuelas. Entonces, o sea, lo que pasa al principio de algo. En fin, ya en este punto, desde este punto, am, pero todos se han separado. Ya todo pasó, la pelea, todo ha pasado, todos se separan y Barrett se marcha y viaja alrededor del mundo tratando de ver cómo puede, perdonarse por lo que pasó. Y se reencuentra con uno de sus colegas de batalla y ese era Steve Hywen. Ellos 2 se sientan, hablan del lo que pasó, de lo que ha pasado, y hay una parte, si no me equivoco, donde Bella le pregunta a Sid qué pasó con Shera, y Sid le cuenta am, que ella murió a causa del estigma. Am, por eso es que, Sid nombró uno de sus naves a Shera en honor de ella. Then, the anime that I am gonna go talk about is, uh, On a Way to a Smile, the, Denzel chapter. And okay, so, let me freeze it here for a second and explain what's going on here. So this anime was taken from one of the chapters of the novel, and it is the chapter of Denzel. And you will find out why you find out, um, how is it that the city edge came to exist for the fall of Midgard, and had who had built the city. Como estaba diciendo, uh, en, en- voy a hablar del anime llamado, Camino hacia una sonrisa, el capítulo de Denzel. Y este cuenta cómo cómo la ciudad de Edge fue construida y por quiénes, ah, después de la caída de Midgar. So I would think I would start by talking about the anime, um, of Denzel, the chapter of Denzel. And guys, if you guys don't like any spoilers, you have many options open to you. So let's begin. Uh, no, wait now the chapter, Denzel chapter. So it opens up by Denzel being at the Johnny's Cafe. I think he called it Johnny's Heaven, just like that's Seventh Heaven, which was Tiffany's Park. But anyway, Denzel is waiting to talk to uh Rip Rip. Oh God, I forget his last name. A former employee of Shinra, because at this point he uh, started an organization called the WRO, or a World Regenesis Organization. Eh, no sé si lo dije en inglés o español, pero bueno, voy a seguir en español. Voy a decir en inglés otra vez. Y resulta que se Frank y Rip le dice que está dispuesto a oír su historia, pero que tenga en mente que eh, la organización ya no está aceptando a niños. So yeah, guys, at this point, um, so he's meeting up with Dave at the Johnny's Heaven, which I guess he named it after the seventh heaven, uh, which was a bar owned by Tifa, and of course the secret hideout of Avalanche. Anyway, he meets up with Riv, and Riv decides to hear his story, but he warns him that at this point, the WRO, um, or an organization that he set up, wasn't accepting children anymore. So yeah, then so starts to tell him that it all began with the loss of his mom and dad, which I believe it seemed like they died during the explosion of of reactor number 7. So uh, Denso was supposed to go with a man named Arkan, who was supposed to take care of him, and they had a safe house somewhere in sector. What sector was it? 5. Uh, anyway, Arkham said he was going to get food and never returned. So he went outside and he saw a couple of soldiers talking, and it happened that one mentioned something about the explosion, and um, Denzel was alone. I mean, and really, he also lost art because he never came back, and so he's all alone outside on the street, and he sees a little toy of the Highwind, and throws he throws it with force through a and only came out of the house, and she got mad at him and told him, "What, you just do this?" And she decides to take care of him because, of course, already lost 3 people. The 3 people already, his mom and dad was supposed to take care of him, and so they do things together, and, um, she gives some well, she didn't have any material for a shirt. She had a flower pattern, where that she used, uh, to make a shirt for him and also a handkerchief. So then they do things like plant flowers, this and that, until until the worst happens, and that's the fact that there's an explosion where the old lady throws, Denzel to the closet and closes the door, and when Denzel comes out, he sees her covered in this black thing. So yeah, lo que pasó fue que en Denzel empieza a contarle a Rip los eventos que pasaron, desde la pérdida de su padre hasta que supuestamente murieron durante la explosión, luego la pérdida de Arkham, que era el que tenía que cuidar a Denzel, el desapareció, y luego encontró a una anciana, o a una mujer mayor de edad, por decir, ah, am, él arrojó un juguete que se miraba como el Highway en la ventana, y esta señora salió y se enojó con él, y le dijo: "Tú tiraste eso". Y bueno, en fin, él le explica que está solo y que no tiene dónde ir, entonces ella lo cuida y hacen cosas juntas. En una de estas le regala una camisa rosada con patrones de flores, y aparte le da pañuelo con hecho de la misma tela. Y se queda con ella hasta el punto donde pasa lo peor. Ella empuja a Denzel al closet porque hay supuestamente hay una explosión cerca y cuando Denzel sale, ella está cubierta de algo negro y descubre que murió. So yeah, once again, Denzel is alone, and he meets a guy named Gaston along with some kids, and they're the ones who start building the city of H. Believe it or not, they uh, if I know the necessary stuff, and everybody's building up. However, everybody starts dying from the same thing uh, that um lady, I think, yeah, Ruby died, which was the stigma. So at the end, um, so Gaskin was the last one to, almost the last one. So there were only two people left from the group, and that was Denzel and his friend. But they got into an argument and they got separated. Again, Denzel's left on his own. And of course, because he touched somebody that carried the stigma, he also got sick with it. Well, he gets he gets to a he get his he he's in pain. He gets to a church and he sees a motorcycle, right? And this bike belongs to Cloud. Actually, I guess he was inside, but he left his phone. He left his phone, and Denzel tries to contact his parents, but realizes that he couldn't because of the destruction of Sector 7. So he sees the number of the 7th heaven, which is this part. He calls and Tiff answers the phone and says, "Cloud, is that I haven't heard from you." And he starts crying, and Tiff says, "Why are what are you crying?" And he's like, "I don't know." And she asks some questions, and so I I don't know. So he finally passes out, and next thing you know, Cloud comes out of the church, sees him, and and he takes him with him to the 7th heaven. And think after all that, he starts remembering. He finishes his story and tells tells Rib, "Well, I'm grateful to all the people that was with me. My mom, my dad, Mr. Ruby, Ruby, Gaskin, the other kids, and so on, and finishes, and Rip tells them uh, he made up his mind, and the answer was no. And oh no, before he asked them or told them before he told them his answer, Rip asked one final question, and he says, "Why are you doing this for?" And Denzel says, "Mm, because I wanna date because of them. I wanna give back." And then Rip um, stays quiet for a second, and then he gives him his answer, and he tells him no. And he goes, "Well, if you were going to say no, why is you decided to meet up with me?" And Rip answers, "Well, I wanted to hear your story." So Rip leaves. Um, he leaves. He turns around and he starts walking, and then he turns around and tells Denzel, "Hey, um, by the way, thanks for uh, taking care of my mother." Then then he turns around and starts walking again. So, lo que pasó aquí es que Denzel perdió a Ruby, luego conoció a Kasken y un grupo de niños que ayudaron a construir la ciudad, y cada uno fue muriendo uno por uno por, el estigma. El último fue Gaskin, y luego los 2 que quedaron fueron, fueron, Denzel y su amigo, que tuvieron una discusión y se separaron. Así que Denzel continúa su camino en dolor por el estigma y ve una moto cerca de una iglesia. Entonces ve el teléfono y trata de llamar a sus papás, pero no puede. Y luego ve el número de, ah, el bar 7 Heaven y llama, y Tifa contesta. Entonces dice: "Claro, ¿cuánto tiempo sin verte? ¿Qué pasa?". Y dice: "No, no soy". Y luego empieza a llorar y dice: "¿Estás llorando?". Y dice, le hace preguntas y dice: "No sé". Luego el dolor aumenta hasta que queda noqueado, y resulta que antes de desmayarse ve a Cloud y le dice que, lo va a llevar con él, lo va a llevar con él hacia Tifa. Entonces, ya terminando su historia, Rip le hace una última pregunta y le dice y no, di bueno, Denzel continúa y le dice que, ah, bueno, sí, sí, se me olvidó la palabra. Esto sí, am, termina y le hace una última pregunta y dice: "¿Por qué quieres hacer esto?". Dice: "Hubieron muchas buenas personas conmigo, desde mis papás, esto, Arkham, Ruby, Cloud, Tifa y Marlene. Yo quiero dar de vuelta". O sea, mm, como, ah, lo más simple es decir, quiero yo hacer algo por agradecimiento. Entonces Reeves se queda en silencio por unos segundos, luego dice: "Ya me decidí y no vamos a aceptarte". Entonces dice dice, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué nos juntamos aquí si no iba a ser aceptado? Y Rip dice: "Primero quería oír de tu historia, y tienes que recordar que los niños hacen los adultos hacemos lo que tenemos que hacer, y los niños tienen que hacer lo que tienen que hacer", ah, que es, am, dame un momento, necesito ver algo aquí rápido. O sea, ellos tienen que animar a la gente, a los adultos a hacerlo mejor. Okay. Ah, luego sí se para, empieza a caminar, a la vuelta ve a Denzel y le dice, ah, es más, gracias por cuidar a mi mamá. ¿Cómo supo que, la mamá era, bueno, porque el patrón del pañuelo, el mismo pañuelo que tenía Rip, por eso fue que Rip notó que él estuvo con su mamá. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. Rip had the same handkerchief, right? He 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 thanked him for being with his mom. Or, I mean, taking care of his mom. Uh, so that pretty much covers the last chapter. I think it's about the arrival to Seven Heaven, up to being adopted by Tifa, if I'm not mistaken. And then comes the movie. So I talk about the book as a brief introduction. Then I talk about the anime feature, and now the movie, Adventure, Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children. Now, I had a bunch of copies, I mean, multiple copies of the 12 and I mean, I'm not gonna say how I got my first one, but yes, I had it several times. My second I got the second one with a friend of mine. Uh, then I bought it again because one of my uh, broke. Then again, it happened, and to my bad luck, they ran out of copies. So there was couple days, maybe months, that I haven't seen the movie children around until one time where my brother, I saw it at Walmart, and my brother actually gave that one to me. I don't know if it was birthday. I think it was a Christmas present, and it was a collector's edition, which had which uh the movie, the two D. Sadly enough, again, one of the my bad luck, but but it had movie, the extra features, the hold on a second. It had the novel, the movie script, and of course, the postcard. Um, I mean, it was a good movie, but the one that I like, I mean, I to my to a friend, I was able to actually the get the movie again, the one that I once had. But the one I'm gonna talk about is actually the called Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children Complete. And it's kind of funny. I don't know. I just saw this on. I don't know if it's still around, but man, I was blown away. I After seeing this movie, I'm like, crap. So they were hiding this content from people for a long time, or what happened? And I'm gonna tell you why, because there were some that they weren't even made. Not not even the collector's edition. So I mean, okay, again, again, I'm gonna have some spoilers. So guys, you already know what to do patients with such as. But anyway, the movie opens up with Kadaj talk to uh Rufus, and it's funny because they were talking about the whole fate of the world and so forth, and and then the real thing happens. No, sorry, I don't know how it went by. I really remember the opening of it, but let me see something. Um, heck? That's funny. That's funny. yeah, I was doing something. At the check. Let's see if I can remember how it was. It. I mean, I just saw it. Actually, forget how it started. Okay, so yeah, the movie starts the same way the game ended. If you guys remember, if you guys remember the ending of the game where you see Red 13 running with two cubs and then howling at the side of me, that's how the movie starts. And yeah, I mean, you guys would be surprised if you guys see the complete edition because you'll see some stuff that again that weren't there before. Either you missed or or they didn't want to show before. Okay, so in the beginning, after seeing Red 13 running with the Cubs, it jumps into a scene where you see Kadaj taking Rufus into the building they meet. This is weird. Has already taken Rufus to a building where they meet close or um, close to half of the movie or half of the movie. But I mean, where he does the song and anyway. So yeah, and then there's other parts like the they do show one where Denzel's at the church when Cloud finds him. Yeah, they took that, and it was nice to add it to the movie. It just looked kind of us to see that scene. And then, of course, the city. They show more of the people, more of the people getting sick from the stigma, like literally. Um, there's this part where this guy's walking through an alley and he's covered with the stigma, and he just falls. You know, something that they didn't have, and I just noticed it, on the computer is that there's this thing where Tifa is washing the dishes, and and she's receiving the call from Reno, um, that there's no sound of a TV on, but on the complete part, you could hear somebody giving the news. And of course, there's another part after I had visit Rufus and Dr. Rufus. And there's one part where let's see if it's after he speaks with Rufus where Reno and they're like talking. I think it was after that. Well, oh, right. Okay, so never mind. That happened right after Marlene and Tifa at the church. So anyway, the Reno and Ruth they're talking, and Reno tells Ruth, well, a lot of people from the company went back to work. And he's like, wow, that's dedication. And then they're talking about atoning for their sins, and Reno's like, how could we even atone for our. So then they talk about Elena, and Ruth tell him, well, things like okay, 'cause they were captured and tortured, but Ruth tells Reno, or backward, yeah, that things like the president, they always shoot their feet. And at that moment, they see a black, black mist coming through the door. And yeah, that's when they have to face the edge, and and yeah, just Kadej. Yeah, just Kadej. He wait, that's it. Anyway, they both get knocked out, and Kadej talking to Rufus and wants to know where their mother. They were talking about Genova's. I remember, I don't know what it was, but yeah, they were looking for her, and he just kept on saying, referring it as mother. Um, and then there's another part that I really love. It's so hilarious. If you see this part, you'll be like, "Whoa, for real?" And it's because on that part is um Reno. He's piloting the uh, helicopter, and what's hilarious about it is that Ruth plays himself, and he has a rocket launcher, and he wants to get everyone ready to target Kadaj, but out of nowhere, just bust into the helicopter with his pipe, knocking Ruth out of the helicopter. And Reno thought that he was a gunner because he heard Ruth screaming like and he's like, oh man, don't tell me. He, he checks. Oh no, he actually um breaks the control the of the helicopter. So he's like, oh no. He's holding the little piece on his hand, and and and, and it's so funny. He's holding it, and the helicopter starts falling as it get out of control. Literally throwing Reno out of the helicopter, and he's like, throwing himself, and he's really good. Lord, he couldn't believe that Rod was holding himself, and he's like, "What do you-" Okay. So finally, the helicopter crashes. They both fall to the ground. And Reno still grabbing to the helicopter's control. He stops it. Hilarious. I just part. And then also the part where comes afterwards where they set up the bombs for for them, but Kadaj managed to escape. The other two fell into the. I like Reno's conversation with Ruther because they both have a dynamite couple dynamites together, and then Reno goes, "So, well, partner, does this thing has any bite to it?" And Ruth answers, um, Shunra's technology at its finest. He's like, so you this thing. He's like, yeah, it's fishy. You'll you'll love it. So Reno goes again. Well, looks like we're gonna have early today. So they set up the bombs, and you see Reno. having this weird laugh, and then the explodes as clouds follow all the way to the top of Shinra, where they have a final confrontation. However, Kadaj has this thing on his neck. I guess it was the nomad's neck, or I don't know what it was. But he puts it on as soon as he falls because Cloud knocked him off the building. Uh, and then you realize Frost came back. He hits Cloud, and he's like, "Nice to see you, Cloud." They start fighting again. I start fighting like crazy. I love the fighting sequence. I mean, um, I don't know if it uses the Knights of the Round. I really forget because I never get I I never get the Knights of the Round. I just um in order to get the Knights of the Round, you need to actually get chocobos, get a water chocobo to go to a particular place, and you'll get the Knights of the Round. But anyway, he just throws his sword and it becomes different swords, and clouds are just getting different types of swords from side to side everywhere. So and he tells um oh boy, I went too far. Hold on. Uh, Damas y caballeros, lo que pasó es que estábamos hablando de aquel aquella escena con, mm, ah, Reno donde estaba piloteando el helicóptero. Y es chistoso porque, Ruth se hace para poder usar una bazooka y darle a Catach, pero en ese momento aparece, no sé cuál fue, que ya sus alas en el helicóptero, causando que Ruth saliera por la puerta. Entonces, entonces luego Reno quiebra el control del helicóptero por error y dice: "Oh, no puede ser", el helicóptero se sale fuera de control, haciendo que Reno salga por la puerta y se sostiene, y ve a Ruth, porque creyó que había muerto. Entonces, luego cuando ve el helicóptero en el piso y y no sé, tienen antes de que el helicóptero se estrellara, pero en al piso, y Reno todavía tenía el pedazo del control del helicóptero. Ay, no. Entonces, ya luego Cloud, la otra que sí que me gusta porque están hablando de las cajas de dinamita que ambos tienen en las manos, y le dice le dice Reno a él: "Oye, pareja, ¿tú hiciste esto?". Y Ruth contesta, le contesta: "Es la tecnología de Shimra en su mejor punto". Entonces dicen: "Ah, así que tú hiciste esto". Le dice Dice, eh, no, le dice que es, dice que es Cronos y le dice, bueno, no sé si sea definición correcta, pero le dice que te fascinará. Entonces, entonces, ¿qué es lo que Ash se salva, pero los otros 2 son atrapados por la explosión. Y antes de que eso pase, porque dejaron cruzar a Cloud también para perseguir a Kayako, esto, pueden pueden ver a Reno teniendo esta sonrisa bien rara. Entonces, ya luego Cloud sigue persiguiendo a Kadash hasta el punto de llegar al edificio de la compañía Shinra, pelean. Tiene esta cosa en una caja que estaba buscando, no sé si era el cuello de Genoa o qué era, pero en fin, Cloud lo noquea y Kadachi la saca y es la reunión que quería hacer. Entonces, cuando salta, cae y sale una espada larga y resulta que es Cifros y le dice: "Es bueno volverte a ver, Cloud". Empieza la batalla otra vez entre ellos 2. So yeah, yeah, they started to fight again. And yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's the Knights of the Round that he used this, 'cause I haven't seen the Knights of the Round. Just, I didn't use them. I mean, the only I just saw it once, but I don't know if it's what I get it. Um 'Cause you gotta do a whole lot of chocobo breeding, and you need a specific chocobo when the place where the Knights of the Round's located. So, yeah, no sé otra vez si usó una materia llamada los caballeros de la mesa, ¿no? Es un movimiento que usó, pero no tengo idea, no lo he visto solo una vez, pero no recuerdo mucho porque para captar ese movimiento con la materia, uno necesita hacer, tiene que hacer, ¿cómo se llama? Un chocobo breeding, o sea, tiene que juntar chocobos y unirlos, crearlos, para obtener un chocobón necesario para que cruce el agua y poder llegar a la parte donde se encuentra la materia de los caballeros de la mesa redonda. En fin y al cabo, Cloud ataca a Sephiroth por todos lados, izquierdo, derecho, enfrente, atrás, hasta que cae y dice le dice: "Regresa de donde vienes, de mis recuerdos". Y Sephiroth le contesta: "Nunca seré un recuerdo". Y baja la ala y regresa cerca de otra vez. Entonces, luego empieza a llover y todos están contentos que Cloud ha ganado, y luego pasa lo peor. Yasu y Los dispararon contra él, entonces Cloud se enoja, levanta su espada y ¡bum! Y ellos claramente también responden lanzando un ataque de energía y desaparecen con esa explosión. Entonces entonces Cloud es consciente y oye la voz de Aerith y dice: "Mamá", y dice: "Mamá", y Aerith dice: "Mamá, ¿por qué todos me llaman su madre ahora?". Y dice: "Bueno, es que todos te gustan". Entonces dice: "Sí, pero es muy grande para adoptar". Y Zack dice: "Lo siento, amigo, pero aquí no hay ningún lugar para ti". Regresa, pero en esto, mientras esto pasó, antes de que esto pasara, por decir, es que todos empezaron a recibir llamadas por teléfono. Fueron hacia la iglesia donde Cloud estaba viviendo, era la iglesia donde conoció a Ares. Entonces, todos se juntaron allí por un motivo. Al regresar Cloud de vuelta a la conciencia, vio que estaba con unos niños dentro del agua y dice, la niña dice, tal como ella dijo, tú vendrías aquí. Entonces, Cloud va hacia Denzel y Tiffany dice, vamos, ya te van a arreglar. Entonces, Cloud lo mete al agua, pensó que iba a volver a tomar este Advent Children Novel, pero, le echa se le quita a Cloud le funcionó eso, el agua le quitó el estigma, porque tenía, ah, no sé si era porque era al a causa del de era pura por bueno, quién sabe. En fin, se le quita el estigma y luego, todos empiezan a saltar al agua y si dice: el último que es un huevo podrido", y todos siguen saltando, y todos se quedan viendo. Y luego Cloud ve hacia enfrente y ve a Ares hablando como una niña, y luego Ares se empieza a ir para la puerta y ve a Zack, no, se voltea a Ares y le dice: "Como dije, todo estará bien". Y luego va hacia la puerta y se va con Zack, y Zack le hace lo saluda y se va. Y Cloud dice: "Sí, ahora sí, ya no estoy solo". So, yeah, the ending's kind of, uh, 'cause so Cloud landed unconscious after being blown up to pieces, being blown up, being blown up, but before, uh, that continues, everybody in the, uh starts getting calls that to meet up at the church where Cloud lived, and the same church that Cloud met Aerith. So when he comes back, he sees that he's surrounded by kids, and the little girl says, "It's just like like she said, you'll be here." So then Cloud sees Denzel, and he goes towards him, and he was like, "Come on, we're gonna get you." So he gets a better fighter, and Denzel thought he was gonna have to break it after what him when Kadesh convinced they would be fixed. Anyway, he put some water and the stigma disappeared. Just like Cloud, when he got wet, same thing happened, I guess, because the water somehow got purified, plus it wasn't a church. Yeah, that makes sense. So anyway, he sees Aerith, and Aerith, as she starts leaving, she turns around and tells Cloud everything's alright, and she he sees her with Zack, and Zack just kind of waves to him, and then they leave, and then Cloud goes like, "Yeah, now I know that I'm not." Oh, guys, okay, so here's the thing. Cloud was really messed up for several reasons. He had he was baited on Mako energy, which surprisingly he survived. He didn't turn into a monster. Then he loses the girl that he thought he was fall in love with, which happened to be his best friend's girlfriend. Not to mention he loses his best friend. So yeah, he was kind of messed up. he lost his best friend, he lost, he lost the girl that helped him throughout the whole ordeal, and then, of course, he was painted on Mako energy, which could have killed him or made him into a monster. Yeah, luckily, good luck on that. He didn't for some reason. So, damas y caballeros, lo que estoy diciendo es, Cloud quedó hecho un, bueno, por decir, primero es sumergido en energía magma. Eso no lo mató, eso no lo volvió en un monstruo, por suerte. Luego la pérdida de Ares, y sin mencionar la pérdida de su mejor amigo. Así que por eso Cloud era todo un caso. So guys, I think it's time for me to wrap it up. Yeah, we got to the end of this of the show. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, ideas for future uh, uh, challenges, you know what to do. So all I gotta say now is take care, be cool, take care of yourself, take care of one another. Hmm? Till then, this is Leon signing out. Peace. Damas y caballeros, hemos llegado al final. Espero que les haya gustado. Esto. Lo que me queda por decir es que, bueno, antes de terminar ya me estaba adelantando. Si tienen preguntas, dudas, ah, propuestas para nuevos retos, déjenmelo saber. Y como digo, cuídense mucho, correcto. Ah, hagan bien y no miren a quién, ¿ok? Se dice León diciendo que la pasen bien, tengan un feliz fin de semana. Nos vemos hasta la próxima.